Welcome back, True Seeker. Getting worn out over here trying to keep up with all the NFL-related deaths. And sadly, these deaths, most people won't question them one bit, but if you look a little bit further into each one, you see there's something awfully suspicious. Like the latest death, Bud Grant, dead on the 70th day of the year, 70 days before his birthday. And why does that matter? Well, what did he do in 1970? Oh, he went to the Super Bowl that year. Again, like we talked about after the conclusion of the Super Bowl, the logo for next year's Super Bowl is purple. And there are two purple teams in the NFL. There's the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. No, it doesn't mean they're both going to be in the Super Bowl, but we're going to talk about the two deaths that have already happened in recent times of the purple teams. You lost Jerry Richardson, who was drafted in 58 by Baltimore. Sure, back then it was the Colts, but now the Baltimore Ravens wear purple. Jerry Richardson, drafted in 58 by Baltimore, dead. Next year will be Super Bowl 58. And now the Vikings coach, Bud Grant, dead. And just like last year, we pointed it out on August 24th, 2022, the significance of Len Dawson dying 172 days before the Super Bowl, while Kansas City was 172 years old, when in Gematria, Kansas City Chiefs equals 172. Again, that was the clue for what the Super Bowl was. Len Dawson died on Kobe Bryant Day from Philadelphia. Super Bowl ended up being Len Dawson's team, the Chiefs, versus Kobe Bryant's team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And, also in the headlines right now, Otis Taylor's dead. They announced his death on 10/3 after the conclusion of the 103rd NFL season, and he was drafted by two NFL teams. You'd never guess which ones, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's go over all these deaths. We'll also cover Dick Haley's again. If you're not following me on Gematria Effect News 25, I have covered all of these deaths here, but since all of these happened in recent days, let's recap all of them. Starting with the latest news, Bud Grant, dead at 95, just shy of his 96th birthday. So, again, he's dead on March 11th, the 70th day of the year. And he's dead at 95, 70 days before his 96th birthday. Notice his real first name is Harry. Harry has the gematria of 70, fitting the ritual. And again, he took the Vikings to Super Bowl IV, which was played in January of 1970. The Vikings were huge favorites and got beat good by the Chiefs. The Chiefs scored 23 on him. Now he's dead in 23. And by the way, this knowledge goes beyond sports. Market equals 23. The big tech bank just collapsed on the 23-year anniversary of the .com stock market bust. And go back and read the headlines from that day of the stock market. Just the day before, 23 companies in the NASDAQ had boosted it to an all-time high, the biggest high since February 3rd, 2-3. Again, you guys, from the market to the sports games, you learn the knowledge. It's all rigged, and it's why we've been helping people make money off the rig sports games, the rig market, the rig crypto, all using the same old code. For all you guys who can't wrap your head around it, I'm sorry you got the IQ deficit. But really, this stuff is elementary. So anyway, 70th day of the year, 70 days before his birthday, Harry's dead, who went by Bud Clark. Again, here's the Super Bowl in 1970 that he coached, where he watched Otis Taylor score a touchdown, who was just announced dead yesterday by the numbers. And also in 1970, funny pattern, he went 12-2 that year and then got beat by the 49ers in the divisional round. How fitting to go 12-2 and then lose to San Francisco. Of course, San Francisco equals 122, the city on the 122nd meridian. We call it the 122 city. Again, they've been rigging it the same way the whole time. But look at the 1970 NFL season and notice what that Super Bowl was. So that Super Bowl was played in 71. It was the 70-71 playoffs. Minnesota lost to San Francisco in the opening round. Who won the Super Bowl that year? Baltimore. Two purple teams. Logo next year for the Super Bowl 58 is purple. This death is synced with his 96th birthday. His full name, Harry Peter Grant Jr., 96, like Minnesota Vikings, 96. If you run his name the other way, his name equals 102, and he won 102 games in the CFL. So it looks like they're rigging the CFL the same way. But also Baltimore Ravens 96, who were established in 96. He would have turned 96 years old on May 20th of this year. He's dead at 95 before the year of Super Bowl 58. Notice the Gematria Baltimore, 95 and 58. And I'm not really telling you guys anything more than what I already said when the Super Bowl ended. I said, I see that purple logo and I see the date, the 42nd day of the year. And I remember when ESPN put out the article before Mahomes went to any Super Bowls, how the era of the black quarterback is officially underway. And it was a picture of Mahomes and Lamar Jackson shaking hands. So, yes, I definitely see Kansas City and Baltimore being a big story for next year. And Harbaugh, the coach of Baltimore, is going to go into next season on 104 losses. It'll be the 104th NFL season next year. He picked up his 104th loss in the playoffs this year to conclude Baltimore's season with Lamar Jackson sitting out. But also from the Super Bowl to Bud's death 27 days later, consider it was the 103rd NFL season, 27th prime, Bud 27 like ritual, dead 27 days later. And those are the key points for Bud Grant. So R.I.P. He did big things in 1970 and then goes out in a big 70 ritual as an old man. Had he had a darker complexion, he would have been lucky to make it to age 80 like Otis Taylor. All right, Jerry Richardson, just to recap, again, dead at 86, drafted in 58 by Baltimore. Jerry Richardson equals 86 like Las Vegas where Super Bowl 58 is. Again, 58, looking for those clues. The only thing I can say about these deaths so far is they don't perfectly align with the Super Bowl like Len Dawson's did. And sadly, there'll be many more deaths before the season comes around. So we're just documenting what is, and we'll see if our opinions change, but we're keeping track of the data that's out there. The Super Bowl being on February 11th, again, that is the 42nd day of the year. Otis Taylor did just die on the 211th day of his age, which is also the 47th prime number, and he did play in Super Bowl I, which was in the 47th season of the NFL. It's where the Chiefs lost to the Packers. But Jerry Richardson died on the 60th day of the year, Allegiant Stadium, 60. And keep in mind, he has the connection with the Carolina Panthers, which pay tribute to the Black Panthers and Black history. So that's also an important detail in this. Remember what they did this year? We got the nice upset. I put it out to you guys for free before the Thursday night football game where the Panthers upset on the eve of the latest Black Panther movie being released. How it was all perfectly synced with Chadwick Boseman's death, who played Black Panther. And The news broke the day after his death, a date that can be written 2/3. Las Vegas is also 23. Again, the Vikings lost in Super Bowl IV, allowing 23 points. Now Bud Grant's dead in 23. And then Otis Taylor, who plays for the Chiefs, who will be the favorites to win the Super Bowl, I imagine, when they put out the futures for next year. Again, they announced his death on 10/3 in the 103rd NFL, or after the conclusion of the 103rd NFL season, where Mahomes went into the Super Bowl 10-3 in playoff games in State Farm Arena, where he does the ads for the same brand, and State Farm equals 103. And now the man who was drafted by the Chiefs and the Eagles, here's Otis Taylor. He was drafted pre-NFL, so the AFL and the NFL were still split leagues. He was drafted to the Chiefs in the AFL and drafted to the Eagles in the NFL. And notice he was drafted in 65 too, like Philadelphia 65. We call Philadelphia the 65 city. Remember how they solved the boy in the box murder from 65 years earlier back in 1957, right before the Eagles went to Super Bowl 57? He did die the day prior to the news breaking on March 10th. He died on 3/9. Arizona equals 39, a state connected to Black history because it was the last state to recognize Martin Luther King Jr. Day, who was killed at age 39 like Malcolm X. And again, the reason I think that they put that 39 number all over Black history is because of the Old Testament, where the oldest person in the Old Testament is Methuselah, who's very dark complected, unlike his albino child Noah. For the record, Otis also equals 63, going with the Chiefs' 63rd season. And like I pointed out earlier, he had 57 touchdowns in the regular season for his career as well. Dead after Super Bowl 57. And again, nobody's going to question these people's deaths because they're older. They're going to be like, well, it's nice that you lived to 80. That's longer than the average U.S. expectancy. Man, it's nice that Bud Grant lived to 95. Again, you don't know how long these people would have lived for. Jerry Richardson lived to 86. Who's going to question it? Again, you don't know how long these people would have really lived for. Doesn't look like any of them went out naturally. And then Dick Haley, Dick Haley just followed up on the pattern we talked about with Franco Harris. This news also broke on 10/3. Steelers 103. Remember, Franco Harris died 103 days after the 103rd NFL season began, and this past year, the season began on the Virgin Mary's birthday, September 8th. She's the Immaculate Conception. He was the Immaculate Reception. Jesuits equals 103. Steelers, owned by the Jesuit Rooney family, died at age 85, like how we predicted Madden would die at age 85 because National Football League's 85. In the case of Bud Grant, he died on the 85th day of the Pope's age. Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator, is also 85. Jesuits credited the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. American football is credited the Scottish Rite. Notice he died 159 days after his birthday. Scottish Rite 159. Scottish also 103 like Jesuits. Len Dawson played for the Steelers and the Chiefs. The Steelers used to be merged with the Eagles in World War II as the Steagles. So I think that's also part of the reason you have this death news on 10/3 after the 103rd NFL season, along with Otis Taylor. And by the way, just the whole Scottish thing, Scottish equals 103 in reverse. It equals 113 forwards. Today's 11/3. The anniversary of the pandemic being declared. Coronavirus pandemic equals 113. The National Basketball Association equals 113. Remember, they locked down the day the pandemic was declared. Blamed on Rudy Gobert, the Frenchman from the home of the Jesuits, who played for the Utah Jazz, the only 113 team in the league. Like Kobe Bryant was 113. Like Deer Basketball is 113. Remember, he played his last game against Utah. Came off the court with 4.1 seconds left. Hit his last basket over number 41 guarding him. Died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age when Kobe Bryant's 41. Died right before Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. Super Bowl 41. Mahomes put the game away with his 41st pass. The 26th reception to the game-winning touchdown to number 26. Kobe dead on the 26th day of the year. Bryant 26. Kobe Bryant 41. Mahomes wins right after. Then Mahomes was 24 years old. Then Len Dawson dies on the 24th of August, 24 days before Mahomes' birthday, who goes on to beat 24-year-old Jalen Hurts, playing for the Eagles, Kobe's team. These are all sacrifices for the ongoing rigged games. So again, the main reason I put out the knowledge is so people will stop supporting these leagues because they're evil, they're rigged, they're ritually sacrificing people, and they're putting in your face by now voting on should people be able to bet on rigged WWE games. People are already betting on rigged games. None of these leagues are any more legit than the WWE. Not a single one of them. MLB, NBA, NFL, not one of them are more legit than the WWE. In fact, I'd say they're all less legit because they pretend to be something they're not. And we know the WWE is sacrificing people left and right too. Go see what I just covered with Randy Savage and his brother. Both dead in the exact same ritual with the exact same numbers. Both synced up with WrestleMania. Remember how they used Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan to take on the Twin Towers with the 9/11 predictive programming? Again, you guys, we're living in a big rig game. So I'll be doing a live stream in a little bit on GematriaEffectNews 25 about all the parallels with the .com bust in March 2000, 23 years ago. And it started on March 10th. March 10th, 2000, 23 years to the day of the big tech bank, Silicon Valley Bank, going down when, again, market equals 23. And we'll go back and look at the headlines, how everything was 23, 23, 23, 23 right before it busted. Same code over and over. And don't forget, you guys, I've been saying ever since Damar Hamlin collapsed that was all signaling that in the third month there'd be some kind of big bank fallout, some kind of black swan event. So, again, another nailed correct prediction. You guys missed all my coverage on Damar Hamlin and the significance of his birthday being March 24th, the same day Chuck Hughes' birthday, who also collapsed on the field, the same day as the Old Dominion player's birthday, who collapsed right after Damar Hamlin, also wearing number 3. By the way, Old Dominion's birthday's Monday when the market reopens. Collapse equals 83 forwards, like how all those guys are born on the 83rd day of the year. And then collapse equals 133 when you run it in reverse, just like football. And Old Dominion, Old Control. I don't know how people don't see it, man. Everyone should have saw it after 9/11. The most obvious lie in the history of the world, a day that defied physics, and then all of a sudden the basement dweller Patriots, right after 9/11 and the Patriot Act, are all of a sudden the greatest football team in history. I mean, what a joke. What a joke. A story for people asleep at the wheel. A story for American dreamers. So, I never got the fortune to be asleep in America. I think I was awake from the moment I came out the womb. Things were not right. So anyway, we'll keep speaking truth to power over here, and I will be on Gematria Effect News 25 shortly talking about the market. And if you guys have not signed up for the new market group, I got, for every person I have that's interested in gambling, for every 20 people I have interested in gambling, I have one person interested in the market. And you guys really, we do take advantage of the rig sports, and you can make your money a lot faster, but it is also smart to be savvy with your money and have a long-term plan. And that's what the market thing's about too. So they're really, again, not to put a dig on the community, but more intelligent people are more interested in things beyond gambling. I'm just going to put it that way. Rig and Pat said betting small but winning at like 76% of NBA. Just reading the news and seeing which numbers appear the most in the calc plus your advice. Exactly. You know, just keep playing modest. Keep hitting on those parlays. Bet small, win big. Last night, you guys, the Spurs looked awesome. Spurs looked awesome last night. And imagine how much money Vegas took home. Imagine all people are like, I'll put 1,000 down on the Nuggets tonight. No way they're losing to the Spurs. I'll take a free, easy $100. Nope, you lost your whole 1,000. And all you had to know was the simple pattern I've educated about for 1 decade on this channel. Spurs equals 21. Spurs murder with the number 21. Here, what happened last night to the Nuggets? Let's see if they picked up a 21 last night. You know, did they pick up a 21 last night? We had on a bunch of nice upsets this week. Did the Nuggets pick up a 21? Look at that. Nuggets got the 21st loss. And back-to-back upsets with the Nuggets. We liked them the other day to stay on 46 against Chicago. Chicago got the 30th win over Nuggets. Nuggets 30. Spurs 21. So Minnesota 38. Again, patterns. Wizards fall to 15 and 17 at home. Atlanta 15. Hawks 17. Yesterday, Doc Rivers picked up his 144th win on the 144th day of the season with the 76ers. And that's a number that represents time. Keep in mind, you guys, it's the 76th NBA season, but the 77th pro basketball season. The 76ers played the Blazers in the 76-77 finals. And there's a relationship with 44 and 144 as well. When you spell out 44, it equals 144. A big time ritual. Paying tribute to NBA history. So, again, learn the knowledge, see through the rig games, and just be careful with the Lakers this year. The Lakers are a team that'll kick you in the nuts. So, let's see. All right. Yeah. I think we hit it all, True Seeker. Thank you, everyone. Hit the like and share. And again, Gematria Effect News 25 is the main channel. Till next time.